It's a Thursday, sky looks tired, kinda like me. Coffee wrinkles on a desk that never sleeps. Same hallway, same flicker in the ceiling. But your name and my phone got the whole world tilting. It's Thursday, paranormal, you haunt me. After normal, all workday's done, but you're still there in every empty office chair. It's Thursday, paranormal, my heart goes out of formal. Clock hits 6, I lose control. You show up like you own my soul. Text you up in the bright light of midday. I laugh too loud like I got nothing to hide. Our chats are seance, little secrets in a thread. Typing dots, dancing like the rays in the dead. It's Thursday, paranormal, you haunt me. After normal, workday's done, but you're still there in every empty office chair. It's Thursday, paranormal, my heart goes out of formal. Clock hits 6, I lose control. You show up like you own my soul. You own my soul. Every week, same time, same spell. I keep saying this is the last to myself, but you call and my logic fades. Guess I love being just a little afraid. It's Thursday, paranormal, you haunt me. After normal, workday's done, but you're still there in every empty office chair. It's Thursday, paranormal, my heart goes out of formal. Clock hits 6, I lose control. You show up like you own my soul. Like you own my soul. Citizens of Earth, welcome to the Thursday Paranormal Show with Mac Gutka and Jeff James. We are watching. We're coming for you.
Good evening, Matt.
Good evening, Jeff.
How you doing this evening?
Doing good. Crazy couple of days at work. Dead to the world kind of deal last couple of days. So if anybody hasn't heard from me, that is why.
Okay. And I saw that you're getting your new setup, getting started.
Yeah, working on it. I bought a couple of things. I'm gonna try to work on it this weekend to see if everything's copacetic with the computer. If not, I'll take it back and get a better system.
All right, man. Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully everything works out.
Yep,
All right, here we go. So lock your doors, turn down the lights, prepare to question everything you think you know about reality. Welcome to Thursday Paranormal. Tonight, we're shattering the boundaries of history, nature, and human biology. We tip the scales of time to bring you the ancient mystery of Tower of Babel, unearthing the dark, esoteric truth behind the sudden fracturing of human civilization and the lost language of the gods. But the horror doesn't stop in the ancient past. We're plunging headfirst into nature's most violent nightmares with a gripping breakdown of brutal shark and bear attacks. Are these mere instincts, or is there an unseen, malevolent force driving these apex predators to hunt us? And finally, the paranormal chef Matt Guka brings us They Walk Among Us. We pull back the veil on the elite shadow world of reptilian shapeshifters. Who are they? How do they hide in plain sight? And what happens when human illusion slips? History is a lie. Nature is hostile. The monsters are real. You're listening to Thursday Paranormal, so let's dive into the dark.
for sure.
All right, so later on tonight, 8 o'clock, we have Chuck Zukowski coming on. He was on the TV show Travel Channel and Discovery Plus, the 2019 paranormal investigative television series that aired. He's a former Colorado deputy sheriff, longtime UFO researcher, as he hunts for definitive proof of extraterrestrial life. And like I said, he joins us at 8. So we kicked it off with Dog to Verona, Lover, and then we did the song 25. We also have The Unsatisfied, The Rising Fall, King Ern. And King Ern has a brand new song. It's a collaboration, and we're going to be playing it tonight. Just came out.
Heck yeah.
Then we have Awaiting Abigail.
Oh, sweet.
All right. You ready, Matt?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's get spooky. Okay. We're going to do strange news.
Awesome. Bring it on.
Not sure if you heard about this one. Crocodiles as prison guards. In an unconventional approach to security, authorities cleared the way to use crocodiles to help prevent prison breaks.
That's awesome.
What do you think of that, huh?
I'd be scared more of the crocodiles than the guards with the pew pews. With.
True, man. Nobody wants to run across that moat. Hey,
No.
it's like Alcatraz with the great white sharks. You also
Right.
don't want to jump in that water.
True.
San Francisco has some of the biggest sharks in the world around that island.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why they put the prison there.
Yeah, true. Although they did have one escape, and they never did find him.
Nope.
They
I
did
think
have-
he was eaten.
Yeah, probably. All right, so the government of Alberta, Canada, issued an urgent public warning begging residents to stop releasing pet goldfish into local waterways, where they are ballooning into invasive giants.
I can believe that.
That's crazy, man. I wonder how big they're getting.
They get huge. They're a carp. They're from the carp family, so they got to get huge. You know how big the nasty carp are out of Chicago River.
True.
Big things.
They are giant. They're fun to catch, though.
Yeah.
All right, this is the honking car bandit. A neighborhood in Colorado was woken up by a horn blaring all night. only to find a wild bear trapped inside an SUV, repeatedly smashing the steering wheel.
You're trying to get himself out.
Can you
Letting
imagine
every-
walking up to that car door and be like, "What the hell is this?" Oh, back
Yeah,
away from this situation.
exactly. You're not carjacking that car.
No. Okay, in other strange animal news, animal service officers in Ontario, Canada, had to rescue a large python found coiled inside a resident's car engine compartment.
Wow.
I wouldn't want to see that either, man. That would
No.
suck.
Yep. Can you imagine taking it to the mechanic?
Yeah. Everybody back away really fast. Oh, F this, man. All right, you're going to love this one. And I was thinking about you because you work in a hot kitchen. All right, the human refrigerator clothing. In response to soaring summer temperatures, a Japanese company debuted a wearable human refrigerator suit designed to keep individuals chilled while they work in the hot heat.
That's cool. I wonder if they allow it as chef wear at the club. I'd have to get one or two suits.
I have refrigerator underwear on right now. That's funny.
Can you imagine the shrinkage?
Oh, yeah. Well, I just wouldn't say anything. All right, you're going to love this one. World's tallest nutcracker. The town of Laverne, Minnesota, officially unveiled Vern the Patriot, a 65-foot tall nutcracker sculpture aiming for a Guinness World Record. I just thought this was about tall women, Matt.
Yeah.
Tall, big nut.
Exactly.
She's a nutcracker.
Yeah, right. Especially those legs.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Sunday, there was some very attractive ladies at that show, wasn't there?
Oh, heck yeah. I was looking both ways, every way. I think Robin kind of was laughing at me every time a woman would walk by the table. How it would look, the way they were walking back and forth. It was like this. I was watching the tennis game.
Except for that bowling ball that we saw up front.
Yeah.
Remember that one? It was disturbing. All right. Bluetooth flight U-turn. A United Airlines flight bound for Spain had to pull a mid-air U-turn back to New Jersey after a passenger's ominous Bluetooth device name triggered a massive onboard security scare. What do you think it was?
Could have been a phone. Maybe. Hey, I don't know. There's some stuff out there now that connected to Bluetooth that you can't believe. There are, yeah. There's even what I understand are devices that I'm not allowed to say on this show right now.
Janine Springs like, I can't come into work today, the bear.
Yes.
My boss would be like, screw the bear, you should have gotten the car. Hey, I hear an echo. Yeah. Do you have something on in the background?
No.
Sure?
Oh, I have a fan on. You want me to turn that off?
No, I hear the show as an echo.
I don't hear a show. It's an echo. Mate, I got.
Hello.
Oh,
it's better now.
Okay.
You had your phone.
I turned it off. I was using it to follow the
tunes.
The tunes and the chat.
It's all good. Well, when we go back to the music, you could turn it up. All right, this is the snow burial record. An endurance expert in Poland broke a world record by spending over 2 hours completely buried up to his neck in snow. That's stupid.
That is stupid.
It's ridiculous.
Why would you do that?
I won the record.
Yes.
All right.
Nobody else is going to do it, so why not?
It's ridiculous. We do it every year in Cleveland.
Exactly.
Brave the snow all day long. All right, shark tattoo obsession. A woman in Maine earned a spot in Guinness World Records after successfully getting 106 unique shark tattoos inked all over her body. That's ridiculous, too.
It is.
Wonder what that looks like.
I got to pull that up and look at it. Look at her.
She's got a great white coming out of her JJ. I'm not going near that thing. Look at that
a
teeth.
hammerhead going into her butt crack.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's great. All right, so this is called the single dose autism symptom reversal. A new neurodevelopmental study found that a single drug dose could reverse persistent brain overactivity and sensory sensitivities in adult mice within hours.
That's cool.
You know what I thought of immediately when I read that was I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Remember when they had the cure for cancer and they made everybody zombies?
Right.
Like,
and it's mice that mice are different than humans anyway. So let's try it on a human and then see. They might turn into a melon head.
Yeah, that's true too. All right, so this is cool. Advanced 3D planetary simulations of a giant rift of valleys suggest that Venus is not a dead planet, but is likely still tectonically active and tearing itself apart from within.
That's cool. That is very cool. I hope we're not alive when it tears itself apart, though.
True. Here's something interesting that I was looking into. I know Robin's not on here, and she would dig this. But you know how they in the Bible it says there's a dome, the water's above and the water's below, right?
Yeah.
Well, I saw some old photos of the dome, and the planets are actually inside the dome. So you have the atmosphere, and then you have space, and then there's the dome. It could be possible.
I'll have to look that up. I'm still fighting the thought of a dome over us and also flat Earth. So I have people telling me it's flat Earth and a dome. So I have to figure that one out.
I hear that a lot. We're going to do a show about flat Earth at some point.
We should.
All right, so paleontologists studying the end Triassic mass extinction discovered that massive fern-fueled wildfires raged across ancient Europe for millennia, reshaping the planet's early biosphere. Interesting.
Very interesting.
All right, you're going to dig this. The 4 alien species claim. UAP whistleblowers and intelligence insiders have testified about the alleged recovery of non-human bodies. Former ASWAP personnel publicly stated that recovered biological entities from crash sites allegedly fall into 4 categories: Greys, Nordics, insectoids, and reptilians.
Yep.
Those are the 4.
Those are the 4 big ones, yes.
All right, so investigative journalists covering the UFO phenomenon have openly addressed the Hollywood, Washington reptilian folklore on platforms. Like News Nation, they analyze how these narratives cross paths with high-profile musicians and executives claiming to witness unexplainable transformations, which you'll talk about later.
Yep. Very, very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Lucy's Hunter unveiled. You remember Lucy was the first known person on the planet. Scientists in Ethiopia discovered fossils of a giant prehistoric crocodile species that actively preyed upon early human ancestors over 3 million years ago.
I can believe that.
I believe it too.
We were small back then.
Yeah, true. And they were huge.
Yeah.
The size of bus.
We were an hors d'oeuvre.
I've been hearing a lot of chatter about Megalodon.
Oh yeah, there's some say that there's at least one in the water still.
Yeah, there's sightings. It's very interesting. Okay, here
Yep.
we go. The 320 million year old armor mystery. A massive evolutionary study solved how reptiles grew and evolved bone armor in their skin. It traces the exact genetic pathways shared by ancient creatures and modern lizards.
It's very cool.
Okay. International fact checking teams, including Reuters Fact Checked, continue to debunk viral social media clips. A recent viral video claiming to show a South American government official showing reptilian eyes on a live television broadcast was proven to be digitally altered. Of course.
There's a lot of that out. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the thing, but
Okay.
there's a lot of that out. So
Global academic journals have published studies analyzing the reptilian mythos, originally popularized by David Icke in 1999, identifying it as a psychological coping mechanism or harmful manifestation of centuries-old political tropes. Yeah,
yep.
who knows? All right, this is the last one. I thought this was super cool. Google Maps creator. A sharp-eyed user looking at Google Maps noticed an unusual perfect circle, which scientists later identified as a potential ancient meteor crater.
I saw that. That was really cool.
Don't
Very
you
cool.
don't you think it's interesting when they do Google Maps when they show Antarctica, it doesn't show up?
Yeah, it doesn't show up, or it shows only blurred version of it. You could different than Arctic. The Arctic completely right there. It just pixelates it.
Yeah, it's really strange, man.
Yeah.
They're just hiding shit from us. That's all they're doing.
Oh, I know they're hiding a lot of shit there down there.
All right, man. We're gonna play a couple tunes in a row, and then when we come back, we have Shark and Bear Attacks. You're gonna dig it. But this is the
Yep.
brand new song by King Ern, and we'll be right back.
All right, King Ern.
All right, here we go.
Ese mundo me satura whatever may come. The society's based on bodies, and that is what I see. And that is what I see. Is what I see. I see. I restrain my desire. Close my eyes. Retire to my own. Without any doubt. I reach out my hand. For you fought back. I reach out my hand. You know. I'll never come back. Don't wake up! Wake me up! Don't wake up! Feel the power! Feel that truth! Just close your eyes! No need to hide! It's only a blink of light! A dream concealed, a dream revealed, a dream is real, seeks and speaks, warm like a sea, but please take me home! Rich pot is a dream, is my mind in despair. Have you ever experienced this? Beat the sweat! I want to get out of there! I cannot see the difference! I want to get out of there! I cannot see the difference! Fear the truth! Just close your eyes! No need to hide! It's only a blink of light! A dream concealed! A dream revealed! Dream is real! Seeks and speaks! Warm like a thief, but please take me home! Am I going mad? Hopefully not. 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 Am I going? Don't talk to anyone! You will never find out. 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 Don't talk to anyone! Just close your eyes! No need to hide! It's only a blink of light! A dream concealed! A dream revealed! Dream is real! Seeks and speaks! Warm like a thief, but please take me home! Take me home! Please take me
Hell yeah! Sorry.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah! King Ern!
King earned, baby. Yeah, man. Good stuff, man. Powerful,
Good stuff.
great stuff. All right.
Got me up. Got me going today, man. Thanks,
Wake,
King.
wake you up a little bit.
Woke me up. Yes.
All right. Turn your phone down for me. All right.
Okay, there you go. Is that better?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Okay, shark and bear
That's-
attacks. This will be cool. It's a little lengthy, so I'm going to get right to it. All right, so shark and bear attacks represent the ultimate intersection of human vulnerability and raw wildlife power. These are rare but terrifying encounters, captivate human fascination because they involve two of the planet's most formidable apex predators dominating their respective domains. The depths of the ocean and the expanse of the wilderness. Bear attacks typically happen on land due to territorial defense, protecting cubs or food scarcity. Grizzly and black bears use immense strength, teeth, and claws to overpower threats. Surviving a grizzly attack often requires playing dead, whereas a black bear attack requires fighting back with everything you have. Sounds terrifying.
Very, very, very.
Statistically, both types of attacks are incredibly rare. Media coverage and popular culture, such as the Tooth and Claw podcast or survival docuseries like Animal Planet's I Was Prey, amplify our primal dread of these apex predators. Humans pose a far greater threat to their ecosystems than they do to us.
Yep.
All right, man. It's going to get
They,
kind of...
the grizzly I saw just passed us by, so didn't bother us one bit.
Well, you're lucky because a big grizzly bear will... there's no stopping them.
Yep.
As you'll hear. All right, so the first attack, the surprise, while hiking through the woods, his name is Orr. Orr spotted a mother grizzly and their two cubs. The bear immediately charged at full speed. In the defense, Orr drew his National Park Service bear spray and discharged it as the bear closed in. But the massive animal broke through the cloud and slammed into him. The grizzly bit his arms, shoulders, and head, tearing a 5-inch gash in his scalp and puncturing his flesh before eventually running off. The second attack, the return of the grizzly, right? Because it didn't go away. It came back for a second attempt.
Hungry.
Believing he was safe, Orr stood up and began walking the 3 miles back to his truck. Just 5 minutes later, the same bear returned. The grizzly leaped onto him from behind, crushing him into the dirt, breaking his left arm and violently shaking him before abruptly vanishing a second time. The escape and recovery, bleeding severely with a shattered forearm, several punctures, and a peeled scalp, Orr managed to hike 4 miles back to his vehicle. He drove 17 miles to a hospital in Bozeman, where doctors treated 26 puncture wounds, reattached shredded tendons, and stitched up his head. He ultimately did make a full recovery.
Damn.
Can you believe that he drove 17 miles like that?
That's crazy. That's some serious adrenaline. That's some serious. What I want to live feeling. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I would have just laid down and died right there. I'll be like, I'm ready, Lord. I'm done with this life, man. This life has sucked so far, and now I've gotten attacked by a bear. All right, so the famous story of a couple being killed and eaten by a grizzly bear involves bear activist Timothy Treadwell and his girlfriend, Amy Huguenard. I'm sure you've heard this story.
I just shake my head every time I hear this story.
Well, they were not legally married. They were attacked and consumed by a 28-year-old male grizzly bear on October 5th, 2003 at Katami National Park and Preserve in Alaska. Timothy Treadwell spent 13 summers living amongst wild grizzly bears in Alaska, believing he could safely cohabitate with them without standard safety precautions like bear spray or electric fences. On October 5th, 2003, an aggressive, malnourished, 28-year-old male grizzly bear with worn teeth entered their campsite near Kaflia Lake and attacked Treadwell. The audio and the video camera was running during the attack, captured a harrowing 6-minute audio recording of the fatal mauling before the tape ran out. Huguenard initially tried to help Treadwell, striking the bear with a kitchen pan before she was targeted as well. An autopsy and necropsy confirmed that the human remains of both Treadwell and Huguenard were recovered inside the stomach of the vicinity of the aggressive bear. It ate him alive. It was eating while he was trying to play dead. It started at his feet and it devoured them. It devoured both of them. If I was her, I would have hit the bear, but if the bear didn't stop, I would have been hightailing him, man. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, so shark attacks occur in marine environments and are usually cases of mistaken identity or investigative bites. But the problem is when you get bit by a great white shark for an investigative bite, it'll take your arm and half your torso with it, depending on the size.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're dead in the water. Okay.
Exactly.
Rather than deliberate hunting, species like the great white, tiger, and bull shark rely on stealth and sudden force. Survival depends on maintaining eye contact, staying calm, and striking the shark's sensitive eyes and or gills. The deadliest shark attack incident in recorded history occurred in July 1945, following the sinking of the USS Indianapolis. Let's see. Where an estimated few dozen to 150 sailors were killed by sharks while stranded in the open ocean. The most notorious, terrifying, and historically significant shark attack stories are detailed below. The sinking of the USS Indianapolis in 1945 on July 30th, 1945. It was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine. It sank in just 12 minutes. Approximately 900 men were left stranded in the Philippine Sea. Now, they say 900, but truth it was more like 1,900 men went into the water.
Yeah.
Okay. They were left stranded in the Philippine Sea on these life rafts, and these life rafts weren't completely life raft. It was just kind of like a square where it was like foam, and then your legs stuck through these ropes, so your legs were in the water.
Perfect bait.
Bait, yeah, it's just bait waiting to happen.
Yep.
Dehydration, exposure, and the smell of blood attracted hundreds of oceanic white-tip and tiger sharks. Oceanic white-tips and tiger sharks are the most aggressive sharks that you'll come across. Over 4 grueling days, survivors watched helplessly as sharks routinely dragged men underwater. By the time rescue arrived, only 316 of the original 1,196-man crew remained alive. That was the worst recorded shark attack in history. All right, here's another one for you. While scallop diving in Peak Bay, South Australia, 33-year-old Shirley Ann Durden was stalked by a massive 20-foot great white shark. In a single devastating initial strike, the shark bit Durden completely in half.
Ooh.
The entire horrifying sequel occurred in clear view of her husband and 4 children, who were watching from the shoreline. Before rescuers could even attempt to retrieve her remains, the shark returned to consume her torso, leaving absolutely nothing behind.
Damn.
That's
nuts.
Yeah, it came back and took the rest of it. It happens a lot.
Hungry. Yeah.
There was a video that you could see on YouTube of this guy that was swimming. He was like a marathon swimmer, and a great white shark got him, bit him in half, and they show him just floating in the water. And then the shark came back and took the rest of them.
They tire him out, bite him in half, and then come back to get him. That's what I hear. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, so during a spearfishing competition in South Australia, which has some of the other biggest sharks, which great whites in the world? is in
Yep.
Australia. Rodney Fox was attacked by a great white shark that clamped around his torso. Fox survived by gouging the shark's eyes, but his injuries were severe. His abdomen was fully ripped open, all his ribs were crushed on his left side, and his internal organs were completely exposed. He required 462 stitches to close his wounds. Remarkably, Fox went on to design the very first underwater shark observation cage to help scientists study great whites safely. He survived that.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's unreal how some people can survive that stuff.
That's amazing. Adrenaline
Yep.
kicks in. You know,
Yeah.
the fight or flight thing kicks in. All right, so animals are shifting and adapting their behavior in unusual ways more now than ever recorded in human history. Because ecosystems are changing at an unprecedented pace, what might look like weird or erratic behavior to us is actually a set of survival mechanisms triggered by climate shifts, habitat loss, and human presence.
Yeah.
We were talking about why animals are attacking more so than ever before. We have overfished, we have unalived animals in their own habitats. We're taking down trees, and it's bringing the animals closer to us, and they're desperate for food.
Yeah.
We're just a meal ticket, walking around in the woods or swimming in the ocean. We're just waiting to be chomped on.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeesh. We have coyotes out here in Twinsburg, and a couple months ago, I took a dog from one of my neighbors. So they're all over the place now.
Yeah. That and bobcats, man, in Ohio will
Yep.
take your pets right off your porch. They'll come right up and take them.
And that's what people are seeing now. Even are bobcats in Ohio, which they usually don't because they're little by themselves. They don't like being seen.
Here's something I was looking into. I'm going to be talking about spiders and snakes in upcoming episodes. People say in Ohio there's no animals that can kill you, right? You know, we have a timber rattlesnake that's in
Yep.
Ohio.
And we also have the brown recluse that can kill you.
Yeah, very true. All right, Matt, we have somebody very important waiting for us in the wings. We're not going to play a song in between because he's here with us right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring him on. So just give me 1 second to get it set up, and
Awesome.
we'll bring him on with us, okay?
Yep.
All right, just give me 1 minute. Okay. Please welcome to the show our friend, Chuck Zukowski. We're going to be talking about the alien highway again. Here we go. Chuck, welcome to the show.
Hi, Chuck.
Hey, thank you very much. Hey, how you
Welcome
doing?
back. Welcome back.
It's glad to be back. I appreciate that.
Hey, I want to go back over the alien highway for the people that didn't hear the show last time. If you can just give us a brief synopsis of the alien highway in the ley line, and then I got some questions for you. Okay.
Okay, now just wearing my Alien Highway shirt. That's kind of interesting.
Nice.
Okay, fire away. Alien Highway came out in 2019, and we were good for one season. We had enough ratings for another season, but unfortunately, Discovery Network, there was a merger with Scripps, and so our producer was let go, and the producers that came in, they had their own projects, but we were doing pretty good. Our ratings were actually pretty good. We were the highest rated show basically on a Wednesday for so it actually worked out pretty well. But you can't deal with politics, so you know how that is.
Yep.
And that was Travel Channel and Discovery Plus. that you were
Yeah,
on?
well, yeah, it was, yeah, back in the days it was Discovery, I think, and then it became Discovery Plus. But now it's all over the place. I guess you can watch it for free on a few different platforms,
All right, very cool.
maybe even Roku or something similar to that. But yeah, we had a really good time. It was uh, when I was when they brought the idea to me about doing this show. I only had one thing that I that I wanted to do that basically, or I, in my opinion, would probably be the best thing to do and how to run these type of shows. And they went ahead and agreed to that. And that was to run every show as if it was a real investigation. And the way that we were able to do that was the witnesses that we had on the show, I didn't meet till we were on camera. So it wasn't like, okay, we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to talk to you about this, or none of that. So it was kind of fun because it was like I'm running a real investigation, meeting the witness for the first time, and it was all, captured on camera. So I think that's why it kind of played out a little bit better, when people watched it because it appeared to, kind of look like a real investigation. And as far as I was concerned, it kind of was for me because it was the first time I met them, first time I heard the whole detail of their story. Of course, I knew a little bit about why we were there, and then when we were there after talking to the witness, is when we decided, what type of investigations do we want to do. Do we want to do this? Do we want to do that? Do we want to do any experiments? And all that was just on the fly, which was how it really is, when you do an investigation.
Sure.
Cool.
Tell our audience what is the lore behind the Alien Highway? What is the Alien Highway?
Well, originally it was going to be part of the 37th parallel. No, my theory that back in, I guess, 2016, I was on Unexplained Files season one, and I was doing a segment on cattle mutilations. And towards the end of the mutilation of my segment, I was referring to my latest theory, which was the 37th parallel or the 37th degree latitude, and seeing a lot of these mutilations occur across the 37th because they're east to west and da 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 da. And when when it aired, I guess, and that was for the Science Channel. And when it aired, they were pretty impressed. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but they were pretty impressed with the theory. And they said, "Can you send us any more information on it?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And I did, and they gave me my own episode for season two called "The Paranormal Highway of America." And so this show was going to mimic that, but because the rights, I had sold the rights to my theory to New Line Cinema Warner Brothers for a movie which never happened. The script was written, but it never happened. And of course, the book was written about it called The 37th Parallel, written by Ben Mesrick. And that was a New York Times bestseller for a couple months. I mean, gosh. And that was written about me and my investigations. And that was all pretty cool. It was all coming at me like just a ton of bricks, just hitting all this stuff going on. So when I got introduced to do a show like that, I said, well, we can't call it 37th parallel. We can't do that because, copyright infringement, because now New Line Cinema owns it. So they said, well, about Alien Highway? I said, oh, nothing wrong with that, And so we rolled with Alien Highway. And like I said, I only wanted, I wasn't giving them an ultimatum. I was talking to the creator of the show, saying I really would like to do it this way, and he thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. He says I'll pitch it to Discovery, to Travel Channel, and I know when he pitched it, there was two other shows that we were pitching. He was pitching it against, but out of the three shows, they really liked where we were coming from and how we were going to address these investigations. So nothing was predetermined. It was all on the fly, and I think they really liked that.
With all
Cool.
your investigations of east to west with the cattle mutilations and the sightings and all that, what have you concluded? What do you think's going on?
It's interesting. That's still, we're still getting progress on that. Now, the thing with the 37th parallel, 37th degree latitude, is not all your UFO, obviously, not all your UFO events, happen, and major UFO events happen on that 37th degree latitude. But what was intriguing was, Taos, New Mexico, Dulce, New Mexico, Area 51, and a string of mutilations and a bunch of other stuff that kind of like, I started looking at it. And what was intriguing about the 37th degree latitude is you can hit every aquifer across the US. So every major underground water source you can hit on that 37th, along with a lot of petroleum, natural petroleum deposits. And the reason why that's unique for me is because hydrogen has always been one of these theories. My other theory was that, that the aliens love hydrogen. Well, that's because our planet is made up of hydrogen. But if you have if you have an underground base and you can get to water, you can extract hydrogen from the water. You can actually extract hydrogen from crude oil and different types of natural gases and stuff too. So if they need hydrogen to do anything, like let's say, remember the tic tac.
Yep.
You remember the oblong round or
Yeah.
white thing.
Yep.
So when the pilots saw that, they made comments that they couldn't see any exhaust. Right. Now, for every action, there's a reaction, and so if it's pushing, being propelled, there should be some type of reaction like an exhaust, like we would normally see. But it could still be that way, but we just can't see it. Now, if you use hydrogen and you use fusion as a means of like our sun does, to create energy, then you're going to get ultraviolet A and ultraviolet B rays, right? You're going to get sunlight, you're going to get light, and you're not going to be able to see the exhaust. So these are some of the things that were going through my mind at the time of the 37th parallel theory. And one of the things was, okay, we have water, we have petroleum base, we have caves, plenty of places for these, people to dwell and dive into and maybe have bases and so anyway, it worked out pretty well. Lately, within the past 4 or 5 months, I did have a physicist contact me, and he says, "Hey, I think I found something really unique to the 37th latitude. I'll get back to you." And he touched base with me a little bit on it, and he says, "I don't want to go in too much, but this is huge." I'm going, okay. So who
Cool.
knows what may happen? But he was a retired physicist, and he said something is up with the 37th degree latitude. So it's pretty cool. So who knows? Maybe later on this year we'll have something.
Pretty cool. Well, where the government sees coincidences, you see patterns, and you developed that from being a sheriff's officer for over 30 years, right?
No, actually, I was over 30 years. And I still am. I'm a graphics design engineer. So I design microchips. So if you ever look under a microscope, not a telescope, that won't work. But if you look under a microscope at a microchip and you see all the different designs, I draw that. So I take a transistor. I take a transistor from schematics from engineers, and then I convert them to the graphics. And so it was so very good analogy what you just said about seeing patterns. Well, I see patterns because of the job I've been doing for 30 years, which is microchip design, graphics design, and now I see rectangles and all kinds of stuff. Just because you look at a microchip, that's what you're going to see. Now where the deputy comes in was when I was in Colorado. I wanted to get more in tune with what was going on with law enforcement in the area, And so I went to a Citizens Academy for like I guess it was like 9 weeks, 10 weeks, and then found out about the reserve program and went to their deputy academy. It's a full-time academy, but it's designed for people who work. So I would, and it went a couple of months longer than a normal academy, and because you go, every weekend and 2, 3 nights a week and stuff. So then I became a deputy, and I was a deputy. Now I was a reserve deputy, and the only difference between being a reserve deputy and the regular deputy is the reserves don't get paid. So when, let's say you had a reserve deputy that was sick, or they were short-handed, they would call us, and we'd go down to Fleet. We'd pick up a car, and we would take that deputy's spot, whatever area, and we would run patrol. And so, I did everything that a full-time deputy did, plus more, because I got the opportunity, being a reserve, to work with SWAT. I actually worked with ICE once or twice, just because whoever they took that was not an illegal immigrant went with me. That was crime stuff. And then worked with oh geez, there was anyway, I won't go into that, but there was a large drug bust in Colorado, and I got to work with that too, and we had like 98 officers involved between city, county, state, FBI, and so it was way cool. So you get some opportunities like that where maybe a full-time deputy wouldn't. And I got in tune to what was going on in our county. So our county is 2,300 square miles. And so by working the county as a deputy, I had a lot of opportunities to talk to people in the rural areas, and I found out all kinds of cool stuff that was going on. I never mixed a deputy being a UFO investigator. I separated them, but I found where all the hot spots were, and then on my spare time as a UFO investigator, I would go to those areas. So yeah, it worked out pretty well.
Hey, Bino had a question, and I was actually going to ask you this because I've seen this a lot on YouTube.
Yep.
He says, do you think there's a craft inside the mesa at Skinwalker Ranch like they're alleging? They're actually alleging that it's underground, and they're talking about digging it up because they did ground penetrating radar, and they found like a big circle. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I question everything coming out of the Skinwalker Ranch TV show, only because before there was a TV show, Alien Highway was there, and we are in that same area, and talking to the locals there, and even the Native Americans, they told us, he says that place is no hotter than any other place in a 5 to 8 mile radius, and we got some really really good results of. Now, granted, the Skinwalker Ranch would be like the Bradshaw Ranch over near Sedona, so I'm not saying
Wow.
that there's not something there, and there very well could be a craft underground somewhere, and I'm not saying there's not. I'm just saying that the Skinwalker Ranch isn't all that compared to other places. Of course, you had the Bradshaw Ranch in Arizona. There was the Lee Ranch that was down the street from where I lived in Colorado Springs and Blackfoot, in Black Forest, and then a place a little further down. I know of a place in Georgia. So these so-called ranches, they're multiple in multiple locations all over the U.S. once you start investigating it. Now, the interesting thing is with my hydrogen theory, you might be able to pinpoint one of those ranches, and that's if because there's a lot of activity there, and if there's alien interaction there, if there's hydrogen there, like the Skinwalker Ranch, there's a big oil reserve there. That's where the Skinwalker Ranch sits, on a major oil reserve. Well, that's a great resource for hydrogen. So any UFOs, that might be in the area might be due to that. But if you take an EMF meter to areas like that, you're picking up high EMF, then you might be picking up electromagnetic fields from some type of industrial action going on, where the hydrogen is being converted. And I found a couple of places in the U.S. where they have high EMF readings, and that there's water reserves. Now the water could be doing it too, along with whatever minerals are in the water.
Yep.
But it's we're not making this stuff up. We're trying to theorize with what data we have and what evidence we have to come up with some type of evidence of where we can investigate. And I say we because I know other investigators are doing it. So yeah, it's cool stuff, though. It keeps you on your toes.
Hey, when you did the cattle mutilation investigations, did you use EMF detectors there as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I found some things, not all the time. Now, now one of the things, matter of fact, on X today, I did a Thursday throwback, throwback Thursday, and I posted a cattle mutilation video that we did like, I don't know, 16, 18 years ago, in the San Luis Valley in Colorado. And the very first thing I always did with every mutilation, and if I do any more, is to make sure it's safe, not only for me, but for anybody that's near me, and also it's safe for the ranchers. So I always first thing I do is hit it with a Geiger counter to make sure there's no radiation. Never picked up any radiation from any mute site. Not entirely true. I did pick up some minute radiation at one particular site, and I contacted. There's an organization in Colorado that knows where all the uranium deposits are. And I gave them I told them where I was, and what I picked up is I don't know, that's naturally occurring areas there. So most of the time I don't. But now EMF though, I've picked up high levels of EMF from a gaping hole in the side of a cow. It was twice the Earth's magnetic field, because the Earth's magnetic field is 50 microteslas and my meter was pegging. So, and I was thinking about it, and I go, okay, this was the first time I picked that up. And then later on, after a couple of other mutilations I did, investigations, not the mutilations, I was able to pick up residual EMF from the animals, and then from the area where the animal was mutilated, picked up some residual EMF. But when I picked up the first one, it was such a high level that I contacted the company Alpha Labs that made my EMF meter, and luckily I was able to talk to one of the engineers there that actually worked on the project, in the design. And I just lucked out. I just asked for technical support, and they just gave me one of the engineers. And I talked to him and asked him, "What do you think?" I'm thinking, because back in the day we were thinking, okay, implants, they're being monitored. Now all that's changed. But he goes, "No, residual." He says, "What possibly happened, or what's happening, is there's a high energy source associated to what caused those cuts. That energy source gets embedded into the carcass, and then the open areas, and that's what you pick up. You're picking up residual electromagnetic field." This particular case that I picked that up from, we were there probably, and I say we because I had a team at the time. Actually, I think my son was with me, and Matt and somebody else. So I had a small team with me, and we were there probably within 30 hours. So we got there, before. And it was during the winter time too, so you can forget about bugs. I get that all the time too. Oh, these bugs, they're the flies, the maggots, and they're all doing this and that. Yeah, okay, I can agree that they're responsible for a lot of the carnage, but not when you go see an animal that's laying in the snow, right? You're not going to have flies. You're not going to have maggots, not in the snow. And it's just when they're mutilated, it's like frozen in time too, which is way awesome. So it's pretty interesting.
So is there a difference in winter and summer investigations?
Are there difference where?
In between summer and winter investigations?
Well, yeah, because summer investigations, because of the heat, you need to get, for at least a mutilation case, you need to get there quicker, because decomposition is faster in the heat. And then in wintertime, it slows down. I mean, you have a little extra time, but but there's also other sources, other things too. During the summertime, there's a lot more animals out. There's a lot more, insects out compared to the wintertime.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of things that can that now I've seen some mutilation cases where, by the time I got to them, there's maggots everywhere. Now, maggots, it's interesting because you do get a lot of debunkers that say it's maggots, but the flies have got to come down first, and they're on the hide, and then they lay the eggs, and within 22 to 24 hours, the eggs will turn into flies or maggots, right? And then they're
Yeah.
out and they'll start eating. So, if you get to mutilation within 24 hours to, under 30 hours, you're going to get a pretty clean carcass that you can look at and determine. Now, the thing about mutilation cases is, first thing you see is it can tell you that some mutilation cases, there's absolutely no movement from the limbs. And this was something else too that during the snow, which is just effing awesome, and even in the ice, that when the animal died, there was no struggling. It just laid there. Someone, well, actually something placed it there is what I later found out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so the animals are placed there, and just picture the animal being a fiberglass cow, right? And you just pick it up and just place it. Now, if an animal, any type of animal, is dying, either it's going to kick, it's going to move around, it's going to scratch the surface, and nothing. Nothing. The Mike Duran mutilation case, the animal was found on a riverbank in the mud, and you could clearly see in the mud that nothing moved, because there was no movement in the mud. It just lay there, and that was it. And then sometimes, I won't go into too much of it, but sometimes when they're put back to where they're found, they're put back so hard that the rib cage will break, the femurs will break, bones to the shoulder will break, and you cannot, no matter what some of the city folk think out there, if a cow falls over, it won't break, i.e. cow tipping, you know,
Yeah.
cowboys, kids still do that every now and then. Cows will be sleeping, standing up, and they'll walk up and they'll push it over. It
Yeah.
won't hurt the animal. It doesn't kill the animal. So no, and so you're not going to get broken bones, for cow tipping. Although I mean, if you push them hard enough, maybe. But so anyway, that's what you kind of
Yeah.
see. You see, there's absolutely no movement. Gallons of blood, depending on the type of animal, the breed. It could be anywhere from 4 to, gosh, 8, 10 gallons of blood, depending on the breed of the animal and how big it is. And there's no blood. When you go in the carcass and you look inside, the heart, every one of them that I had seen inside, the heart was collapsed, meaning the blood was drained out first, and then it was cut up. The pieces that I took to have analyzed at Colorado State University Veterinary Lab never showed any hemorrhaging along the unknown cut, meaning the animal was dead and then it was cut up, and that's a good thing. And then there was no signs of heat, so you could forget lasers. It was just clean cuts like a scalpel.
Yeah,
Very
Jennings.
cool.
I'm sorry. Bino asked, does your son still research the stuff with you like he did in the TV show?
Well, right now he can't. He has when he can. Both my sons are military. One just got back from the one that was with me when I picked up those high levels of EMF. My son Chuck, he just got back from Japan, and he's in a base somewhere in the Carolinas. And then my other son Daniel, who was on Alien Highway, he's deployed right now over in Egypt.
Oh, wow.
So he's
Wow.
they're keeping an eye on what's going on over there. He was supposed to retire this year because he's with the Colorado National Guard out of Denver, but he's pretty high up in rank. And military police and some other things that he was doing. So they asked him, "Can you hold off retiring for 1 year and go to do a what they call it's a rotation, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is before the whole Iran conflict, and it was the beginning of this year, and so we need someone with your grade level to be there along with another guy, and you're going to be in charge of like 1,500 people in this base. And so he's never one to say, no, I'm not going to do it. No, he's jumped right at it. So that's where he's at now. He's over in Egypt. Yeah, he's in Egypt.
Thank him
Chuck,
for their service.
Oh,
Thank him
great.
for their service. Yeah.
Chuck,
Yeah,
you mentioned the cow mutilations. Is it only cows? Are there horses? Are there other animals that have this thing happen to them?
yes, yes. I mean, it started off with Snippy the horse, right? Back in what, 67, I think, I forget, somewhere around there. And started off with a horse. I've done horse mutilation cases. Matter of fact, it was a horse mutilation case that caused me my reserve job. I was terminated after 8 years, which was probably the best thing that ever happened to me because I was running so many different types of investigations between mutilations and UFO sightings, and then I got involved in Bigfoot investigations and then ghost stuff later. That I was like running out of time to be a reserve deputy. But there was two horses that were mutilated in my county that I investigated. They didn't like the fact that I investigated them. No one knew that I was a deputy when I investigated it. They didn't like it. They told me I couldn't investigate in my county anymore. And I said, my county is like 2,400 square miles. You're not going to keep me from investigating in 2,400 square miles. And I said, what are you going to do? Dock my pay? No, I'm a reserve. I don't care. And I was already there for 8 years. And so they tried to order me to stop. And I said, yeah, take a hike. They didn't like that either. But they wanted me to stop doing investigations, UFO investigations. And I told them, yeah, bite the big one on that one. That's not going to happen.
Do you think that came from higher up down to them to tell you that?
No, it's different now. I'd like to go back there and shake their faces and say, do you see what's going on now with with Congress and the what's going on with the meetings and releasing information and da 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 da? Because back then, it was like, oh, UFOs. Oh, you're some UFO nut guy. We don't want that associated with our department. Now that's that department. Now I've worked with departments in other places. I worked in Oregon, Georgia, Ohio, Missouri. There's a department out here in Texas that won't talk to me, but I think they were ordered not to talk to me. So there's some departments that will be more than happy to talk with me, and I can clue them in what I've found and what their investigators can find and learn from this. But in 2023, Texas, there was 6 animals that were mutilated, and I've been trying to get the case report for years on that. Now I hear that I'm in Texas. They won't even talk to me. They won't return my calls. They won't do anything. But I have evidence that 2 Air Force planes flew over the area where the mutilations occurred like 8 days before. And they came out of Corpus Christi. So I'm thinking that this particular department was told not to release the case report. Now, what the thing is they say, well, the case is still open. Okay, well, it'll stay open forever. As soon as they close it, by law, I can get a copy because it's a public entity. But if the case is still ongoing, then that's one way of not ever releasing information. And there might be other reasons too. Maybe it really hit the news. It was nationwide. It was worldwide, and I think they got tired of all the couch investigators. No offense to couch investigators, but if you've never done an investigation before and you watch all this stuff on TV, you're not a UFO investigator. You cannot go in first time and jump into something that big. You got to like the rest of us, you got to work yourself up. You got to work up the ladder. You just can't jump to the top of the ladder and think you can be a CEO of a company. You got to walk your way up to do it, because there's things you can do and things you can't do, things you learn, how to talk to people, especially how when to push, when not to push. Of course, you guys probably know that, from doing
Yeah.
your investigations. If you come on too strong, you can get turned off, right?
True.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Bino
Sure.
said he saw you talking with Katie Page recently about possible bear mutilations. What can you
Yeah.
tell about that?
Yeah. So she called me the other day, and we talked, and so she wanted me to look at the bear thing. It's really interesting. She actually went out yesterday or today. She got a hold of the person, and she went out, or she either today or yesterday she went out to the site. So I can't say what they found out, because she's going to release that information, and I definitely don't want to take it's I don't want to take that from her. But it's really interesting about the bear. Uh, it's not like anything that I've seen. The bear was laying on its back, and his arms were up and his legs were up like that, like but it was laying on its
Wow.
back. And there were cuts on the inside and the inside of the thighs, which would make you think that maybe it was hanging onto a tree, or in a tree, and lightning struck the tree and caused the damage. But just from what we understand, there was no trees around. It was, in an open area. But the part that really made me curious was the marks here and here. It had been there for a while, so there was, some rough cut stuff, and of course the image I had was an image that was sent to her, so it wasn't really high detailed. She's going to be taking high detail pictures. But there was a cut on the side of the jaw that shouldn't have been there, and it couldn't be there. It wouldn't be there from a predator, or I mean, I should say a scavenger. So that was interesting. So that's what she was going to take some pictures of that cut for me, and then we're going to take a look at that, when she gets all her, ducks back in a row. And then she'll probably do another release, and we'll find out together. I have an idea where it's going, but I don't want to say anything.
So I'm
Cool.
I'm not sure if you can answer this question, but I'm interested to know: have there been human mutilations similar to animal mutilations in like this?
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. There was one, I keep forgetting where it was. Shoot. Yeah, Google's sending me somewhere else. But there was a human mutilation, and I forget if it was Brazil or somewhere, and that was years ago. I apologize because I didn't brief myself. I thought we were going to be talking about other things, so I didn't know we were going to go after cattle mutes. But yeah, there's a case that you can look up. I can't remember. It's by the equator. It was years and years ago, and it had all the earmarks of a mutilation. And let's see, human mutilation like a cow. I can't find it for whatever reason. It's not showing me. I apologize. Usually it pops right up, but this stupid, it's limiting what I can look at.
The government is limiting you.
Yeah, it's limiting what I can do. Well, I'm trying to do it so fast. I don't want to. It's not fair to you guys to do other things. But I have read of two other cases. One was really interesting. It was out of Canada. Now, the thing is what I saw was a case report that some guy talked to me about. Now, he's from Canada, but I can't guarantee that's what happened. What happened was, and this was years ago, that the Mounties or whatever, they're law enforcement. They see a vehicle off the side of the road at night, and they come up and they notice that there's a lady slumped over on the steering wheel, completely clothed, everything slumped over, and they just assumed, oh, she died. And they checked and make sure she was dead, and then they called the coroner. And when they did an autopsy and took the clothes off, her chest was opened up. And
Wow.
so that's what I heard about the Canadian one. And then I heard one very similar to that where a hunter was found in the Appalachians in Tennessee. Now, these are about probably 15 years ago when this happened. That's and the one wherever it is, Brazil or wherever the heck it is. I haven't heard anything anywhere near us. I mean, well, lately. But I have to tell you though, you have to be careful because, there's a lot of people go missing, and I forget how many people go missing without a trace every year here in the U.S. And I know there's a few individuals out there that are looking into missing people, national parks, that are never found, and they're trying to attribute that to Bigfoot or whatever, or aliens. But don't go hiking by yourself. you know.
The reason I
Yep.
bring up the mutilation thing is it goes with the 37th parallel because they're all facing east to west, right?
Yeah. Now I don't know about the human ones because I never got to see pictures because it's a crime scene, and because it's a crime, and if they can't find out or they don't have any idea how the person died, the case will be open. Like the mutilation case out here in Texas, they leave it open and they'll never close it until they can clarify what happens. And because it's a human, it's a little different. You just don't go over and talk to that person's relatives and say, "Hey, I got my UFO investigator." Da da da. I can do that with animals, but it's you don't want to do that with humans. It's even horses. It's tough. When we talked about before where other animals, yeah, horse, dog, goats, deer, elk, rabbit. So at one point. So it doesn't just fall into cows, but cows, it appears that who is ever doing it, they like free roaming animals somewhat, except for the horses, which doesn't make sense. So, that's one of a, when they, but it always, I don't understand why the horses. I can understand cows only because during the time period where we were practicing, the medical industry was practicing in vitro fertilization, on humans, right? They were practicing using bovine hemoglobin. And then the head of the medical industry pops in and says, hey, guess what? You're not going to do in vitro fertilization on humans using cow blood. So they had really, really good success with that. And so the medical industry said, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to wait until you can do it with a human and, hemoglobin and not bovine. And so we do know that bovine hemoglobin is very, very similar to our blood. So much so that during World War II, our military was looking into using bovine hemoglobin on the battlefield because you don't have to refrigerate it like human blood. But one cool thing that the U.S. has had, was the Red Cross, and people were donating so much blood that they didn't need to do that. But I did talk to someone that pointed me towards a story where the Vietnamese were using bovine hemoglobin during the Vietnam War because they didn't have access to a Red Cross like we did. So. Now, granted, if you're bleeding out on the battlefield, they would just give you a pint, and just to get you back, just to keep you alive, and then you would get human blood. So it was just one of those things. So it's interesting where now horse and other animals or mammals a little different. The blood is a little different. Cows are interesting though. It seems like Cows are the most effective, but like I said, Mississippi horse was the first one that we all really heard about. Although I did find a case in the late 1800s in Missouri where 3 cows were killed. Um, what appears to be a mutilation after a UFO sighting. So that was kind of interesting.
All right. With all your investigations with the mutilations, if you had to draw a synopsis, what do you think's going on? If you had to guess.
Well, it's all about the blood, number one. So who's ever doing it, they're doing it for the blood. Some of the samples they're taking are in areas where they're, I don't know, in membrane areas, but in some areas where the blood might be different depending where the area is. Sometimes they're taking organs, but regardless, it's always about the blood. The blood's always gone. So who's ever doing that? Way back in the day when I first started, you know, learned about cattle mutilations. We're talking 25 years or so ago, and they're talking about the Dulce base, in Dulce, New Mexico, where it's a alien base there, and there's all kinds of stories associated with that. That the aliens were basting themselves in blood, and that they, that's how they fed. They didn't feed through the mouth. They absorbed, their food through their, like osmosis, right? And so that was a story from the very beginning. And then everybody, was saying, well, that's what the blood's going, the aliens are drinking it, da da da. And then we kind of got out of that phase. We got into the hybrid phase, where the blood was being used to create alien hybrids, human alien hybrids, and which to me sounds more plausible, because that would make more sense. But then again, too, I'm not an alien, so I don't know. But it's still happening. Now, here's the thing, it's interesting too that a lot of the mutilations, they happen in droves. You may have one year where you'll have a whole bunch, and then another year where you'll have hardly any to none. So it's interesting. For a while there, when I first started doing investigations, I was looking at 9 to 11 year cycles where we would have high levels of UFO sightings, late 40s, mid to late 50s and 60s, and I was trying to figure out, okay, at the speed of light, how far away, is a planet, that, how long does it take them, and of course, like I said, we're all learning as we go, as goofy as that sounds, but that was the mindset too. So the thing is they do happen in waves. Now, generally, when one happens, 2 to 3 will happen too. They'll happen either in the general area or somewhere else in the U.S. But you'll get 2 or 3, maybe 4, will happen within a week's period of time. I had one that happened in Colorado, and then 2 days later, one happened in Missouri on the 37th degree. That was my aha moment. That they're traveling straight, and that's when I started looking at the 37th degree latitude.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Does this happen in other parts of the planet on the 37th?
I don't know about that. I stay here just because it's easy for me to research it and go if I need to. I lived in Colorado. I was all over that area. Now I'm in Texas. Of course, in Colorado, I was closer to the 37th. Texas, we're further down. So I'm kind of doing some other things. But if you follow the 37th degree latitude, because people were contacting me saying, oh, wow, Athens, Greece is on the 37th degree. Kobo-Cheki, I can't pronounce that. I apologize.
Gobekli Tepe?
Yes, that's on the 37th degree.
Yes,
latitude.
right.
Yeah. And so other people that were chiming in after the book was written, and it was really nice too because they had some really good ideas. And oh, what about this and that? And of course they're trying to look into ley lines and see if ley lines are associated with it. Like the ley lines connecting all, pyramids of Giza and Chaco Canyon and places in Mexico and Stonehenge and whatever. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's why it would be the 37, and it's interesting. More interesting that 37 is basically this divide. It was the divide between the North and the South. During the Civil War too. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah. But
Yep.
I don't know, just maybe because it's just in the middle. I don't know. But when I first looked at it, I saw that we had, like I said, that we could hit all the major aquifers. There were underground caverns. There was oil fields. I know. I've interviewed a person for a TV show years ago who was tracking underground tunneling. Remember Taos Hum? Remember that a few years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we figured out the Taos Hum was an underground drilling project that was connecting Area 51 to Dulce to other places. And so you'll see these towns and I did when I lived in California. We went on vacation by way of Taos, New Mexico, so I could interview people out there and talk to them about the hum. Not everybody could hear the hum because it's a different frequency, but that's where I later came up with talking to another person who he spent most of the time, because I was more on the UFO side. He was more on the underground conspiracy military side. Not really UFOs, just that there's going to be something is going to happen in the future, and everybody's going to go underground, and they're all going to leave us on top to die, like an apocalypse or something. That was his pattern of thinking. So he was tracking military bases. He was tracking. That was back in a day where people thought, why is these major stadiums next to railroad tracks? Well, because when the government finally takes over everything and puts us all in concentration camps, we're going to be that's where trains are going to take us and drop us off in
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, you hear all that. I've heard so many conspiracy theories. The problem with, and we're getting at now too, even today. The military's going to do all this, or the government's going to do all this, and that, and we're not going to this and that. And all that. I go, you have to understand, a government cannot survive if its people are locked up. Millionaires can't be millionaires if no one works for them.
Right.
Or billionaires can't be if you can't sustain being a billionaire for very long if industry doesn't. So no one can be locked up. That whole conspiracy thing is just, you have to be intelligent the way you think of it. I mean, if they really want to say, okay, yeah, it's going to be the end of the earth, and we're going to write it out by ourselves in the next 30 days, okay, that's something else. But if they want to, anybody wants to survive, they're going to need people to help them survive.
Right.
Grow their food, huh? Right.
I have one last question for you, and then I know Matt has one for you. On the 37th parallel, did you ever get reports about crop circles?
Got one, but it was underwater. It was, I don't want to say it's under the ice.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was a multiple circle under the ice. Now, the only issue I had with
Very
that
cool.
is that can happen naturally, and like fairy rings, right? They call them fairy rings, but I think it has to do with, I'm sure someone can, out there knows, but it has to do with, mushrooms or something or other growing in the ground, and or fungus, and you get this fairy rings, and that's what they used to call them, fairy rings. There have been there was one or two cases years ago in the mid '70s where it was an actual crop circle, and I wasn't involved in it at the time, so I didn't know anything about the 37th parallel at the time, so I didn't connect them. I could probably go back and research. That's a good point. I'm going to remember that because I never thought of that. Thanks. I'll go back and look at that.
Oh,
I
very cool.
yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I was the investigator for the Roswell Rock,
Oh
and
wow.
Linda Moulton Howe stole that from me,
Oh
and then Ancient Aliens took her. And even though I did all the investigation, and then once I went public and did a press release in Roswell, she picked it up for her website. And then when Ancient Aliens, wanted to do something on it, then they interviewed her, not me. Well, because she's Linda Moulton Howe, and forget the guy who actually did all the work. 'Cause, me and my sister
yeah.
actually we investigated for over a year to make sure that you couldn't find. But it's an interesting thing for those people out there. If you look up Roswell Rock, it's a little lodestone about so big. And I got a copy somewhere over here. Yeah, down there I got a copy of one that I paid a place to try and mimic and make it, make a copy like that, and they got close, but they couldn't get it exact because the image comes off of the rock, and then it's a lodestone somewhat where the crop circle, it's a little Littleton, England crop circle, and so you have two like arcs, like crescent moons, I should say, but one side is more positive than the other, so it's polarized, which is way cool. And you set it and you put it down on a table and put a magnet in the middle, it'll spin around. It's way cool. And we still haven't been able to figure it out, but we spent a year making sure that no one could buy this rock. There was nobody selling it at Roswell because we found it outside. It was found outside of Roswell, and so nobody since it went public. They were making the rocks and selling them, but before, we called all kinds of distributors, went through their catalogs, nothing. So that was pretty cool, and that's still around. Robert Ridge, he still has it. He has it in a safety deposit box at the bank.
Oh,
Cool.
very. Matt, you want to do your question?
Yeah, this is gonna be an off kind of weird question, maybe just for you. Do you follow the Boogosphere?
The Bogosphere?
The Boogosphere, the one that was found down in Mexico with all the writings and stuff on it. It's like a round
The round. Oh, I know what you're saying.
thing. Yeah,
I
you know.
apologize. I was
Yeah.
thinking sphere. I was thinking
No,
large.
no. The Boogosphere. Yeah.
It's interesting though that now, granted, some of the stuff that came out of Mexico that claimed to be alien technology, turned out to be other things. But from what I've read and what I've seen on that, it looks pretty interesting. Now, can we build it? Probably with high tech laser technology, do something to make a copy of it. But but it does more than just looks pretty though. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is. Well, I just was reading an article that someone said it was a hoax and it was man made. So I was just wondering if you heard it.
Well, see now, I like I said, I know with laser technology you could do that, and I know there's been a lot of hoax come out of Mexico, but listening to some other investigators that looked into it, at least one that I know, he was telling me that there's some type of magnetic frequency coming off or something.
Okay.
But then,
Okay.
but I have to be honest with you and all your viewers. I know nothing really. I mean, this is all just secondhand information, and it could be information he got from somebody else, and it could be absolutely a fake. Yeah, just like a
Okay.
little alien. Remember the little alien guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that turned out to be a fake too. Actually, it was taken out of a museum.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
or at one point it was that little thing was in the museum at one point. So have to be careful. Although Mexico, I mean, there's a lot of things happen in Mexico, especially along, around where the mines. But I guess, if I really was going to investigate it, I would have to look at it and see, okay, where did you actually find it? And then what are the steps? Like, let me show you, like with Roswell, okay? So let's see if I can find this real quick. So like this little piece, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if I showed you that. I probably showed you that before. But it's a little
that's
piece
cool.
yeah, so there's a little piece of debris in there. And that little piece of debris was found at the Roswell skip site. And I found one back in 2000 or so. After we were doing a dig for the Sci-Fi Channel, and then they had us dig in the wrong place from where I wanted to dig. And then so after production crew left, I talked the archaeologist to let me and my sister go back the day afterwards, after the production crew was gone, and do our own dig and do it better, which we did. And I say better because we were digging too deep. You don't need to dig that deep. You only need to dig down about 8 to 10 inches. And I found a piece of metal and had it analyzed in Colorado, and there's aluminum alloy. And that was way back. So since then, I've been working with Frank Kimbler out of Roswell. Now, he's a geologist and he teaches at the Military Institute there. And he's found material. I went back and found material with him too. So we've had that little piece right there was analyzed in Colorado at a lab in Colorado. It is an aluminum alloy, non-registered aluminum alloy, meaning the computer says you can't buy this. Now, it doesn't mean it's not on the periodic table. It just means that the alloy, the different types of metal that make it up. Let me go back to this guy right here. The different types of, you probably can't see that. I apologize.
Yep.
But anyway,
Sorry.
that was what we got from the lab. So the different types of aluminum, silicon, magnesium, manganese, iron, whatever's in it, falls in a 6000 series alloy that you can't buy. So that was cool.
That's
So
crazy.
we had other pieces, and we had the lab in Colorado, we had a lab in New Mexico, a lab in California, and a lab in Texas. And they all came up, 4 separate pieces, 4 separate labs, all the same conclusion. It's a non-registered aluminum alloy, meaning you can't buy it, but we found it. We found pieces that were a couple of inches underground, and we found pieces that were 10 to 12 inches underground using high-tech
Cool.
metal detector out there in the middle of the desert. So I can guarantee you, because 3 of the 4, and I say 3 of the 4 because I wasn't able to actually talk to the lab technician on the 4th one, but I was able to the other 3, that they all said the same thing, that whatever caused that little piece of metal that tore it apart, right, was extreme pressure. And not only that, but it was explosive in nature because when you look at it under a microscope, you can see rips and tears and melting and all kinds of stuff. So we can guarantee without a shadow of doubt, and on the Bible, that something did crash at Roswell. We have evidence. We have more than enough evidence to prove something crashed at Roswell. I can't guarantee it was an alien, it was UFO. Okay. And it puts us where we found it in the dirt, puts us back to the late 40s timeline. And of course, we have eyewitnesses in that area that I've interviewed, that in the exact
Yeah.
area where they said it was is where we found this. So you have eyewitnesses from Mac Brazel to his granddaughter to other people too, and so we can prove something actually crashed there. Now, mogul balloon, all right. We all knew that was just a farce, because originally he said,
Right.
"Oh, it's a balloon." Well, no, it's a mogul balloon because that's top secret. No, forget it, because the electronics on a mogul balloon you could buy at Radio Shack back in the day, if they had Radio Shack back in the day. I don't know whatever they had. So the material itself wasn't top secret. The balloon fabric wasn't top secret. The project was top secret. That's what was top secret. So you can build a top secret project using stuff you can buy at Kmart, but it's still a top secret project, right? I don't know, Kmart around? I should say Walmart. I don't know if Kmart's still around. So
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with this. So there's
Hello.
nothing could explode.
Yeah.
So whatever caused that debris was a massive explosion, and it impacted the ground. And we had 3 of the 4 labs state that if that would be the case, they would think, especially the way we told them we found it. So I can guarantee you something crashed there. So that's the type of evidence that I work on, and now we're in a process of trying to find. We want to do isotope analysis, so I couldn't do it during the summertime because I found a college here in Texas that can do isotope analysis, and they're off during the summertime. So, they're going to be starting up here shortly, and I'm going to get with them and see if there's a way. Now, the thing is this piece right here too. Unlike the sphere that you're talking about in Mexico,
Yeah.
the reason why we've only had 4 labs look at this is because we follow it. We go with the piece, right? There's
Yep.
no time where the piece ever leaves our eyesight. So we hand carry it to the lab. We are in the lab at the time that they're doing the analysis on it, using the electron or scanning electron microscope and other things that they were using to determine what it is. And we're watching it, taking pictures of it. So you can see it on my website. You can't do that when you're researching, like you said, that sphere out of Mexico, because because since you weren't part of the investigation, all you're getting is hearsay. Now you're getting this hearsay from me about that little piece of metal, but you can go to my website, and I have detailed images of it under microscopic analysis, 50 microns, zoomed in to 50 microns. The lab results are on there. Everything's on there. It's all free to the public to look at, and we have the labs to back it up too. So,
Chuck,
so that's
every
what we try to do.
time we bring you on, you have new stuff for us. It's fantastic.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to
Thanks,
let you
Chuck.
go here in a second, but let's bring you on again. I want to go into detail about Roswell.
Okay, I mean, originally I thought you were going to talk about ghosts.
We'll get you on that one too next time.
Well, it's okay, and I apologize because I was researching. I was going through some of my blogs on ghosts and what ghosts are, and da da da. But Roswell's cool. Roswell's one of these things that's not going to go away, and it's definitely not going to go away because if we get positive isotope analysis that says this stuff wasn't created on this planet, that's what isotope analysis will tell us, then it's going to go through the roof. It's going to
Awesome.
cross.
How about
Very
this? How
cool.
about we bring you back in August? We discuss Roswell, and we discuss hauntings.
Yeah, it's up to you on the hauntings. I know you guys are more into ghost investigations. I learned a little bit about them. I've done a few of my own investigations because I had to differentiate between an abduction and a haunting. But oh yeah, I've got all kinds of theories on ghosts, and I can tell you now that I know there's life after death, and I don't. Before you have to be based on faith with your religion, but when you do enough ghost investigations, of course we talked about the Hat Man before, that I know there's
Yep.
interdimensional beings too, and I do know there's life after death. So I'm very comfortable now. It's like death isn't as scary as it used to be back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, it's
Well,
pretty cool.
Chuck, thank you so much for coming on again.
Okay.
I'll write you.
Thank you, Chuck.
I'll send you an email. We'll see if we can get a date for August, and we'll get into Roswell and some hauntings, and if you want some afterlife stuff, because I love all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Me
Oh
too.
yeah. Halloween would be a good time too.
Bring it. Bring it. Yes.
Hauntings in Halloween, that'd be super cool.
Hauntings in Halloween.
Yes.
Maybe we should just push it to Halloween. Yeah.
We could
Okay.
do that too.
We'll have to do another one then. We'll do Roswell and then we'll go back into Halloween time.
That sounds fantastic for
Very
me.
cool.
All right.
All
Thank you
right.
guys.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
Chuck.
All right. Bye
on
now.
Thursday Paranormal. You have a fantastic evening, and we're going to get into some music. All right, guys, this is Awaiting Abigail with Anxiety, and we'll be right back.
till I go to sleep. And every time I try to speak my mind, it always seems to backfire. Inside makes it hard to breathe, makes me lose
That was Awaiting Abigail.
Very cool.
Great
Right
band.
there.
Great band. All right, we're going to talk
I
about the
love them.
Tower of Babel, and then we're going to move on to reptilians. I can't wait for that one. All right, so the Tower of Babel is a foundational narrative in Genesis where unified humanity attempts to build a tower to the heavens, leading God to confuse their languages and scatter them. It is traditional biblical text and cultural memory rooted in Mesopotamia, folkloric and theological tradition. Mainstream historians and theologians view the narrative as a powerful moral parable about human hubris and overreach rather than a literal scientific record or physical staircase to outer space. The portal theory. Recent alternative internet subcultures and fringe theories suggest the tower was a stargate or technology to contact supernatural entities. This is a modern speculation spin with no backing in mainstream archaeology or textual scholarship. It's an era marked by intense global integration, digital connectivity, and technological centralization. Many modern readers view the Babel account as an uncanny warning about the risks of absolute human uniformity. So the structure was a 90-meter tall steeped pyramid built from millions of baked mud bricks. The name, ancient Akkadian Babel, literally translates to gate of God. The Hebrews used a wordplay on Babel, which sounds like Hebrew word balal, meaning to confuse. Enslaved populations from all over Neo-Babylonian Empire built these structures, meaning the construction sites genuinely hummed with dozens of confusing, incompatible languages. So here's the Stargate idea. And I kind of like this idea. I think it's kind of cool. Alternative theorists look at the phrase Gate of God and suggest the tower was an ancient technological portal. Online theories suggest early humans were trying to unlock advanced technologies, open spiritual wormholes, or summon the fallen angels. Many modern scholars and cultural analysts argue the story is more relevant today because global connectivity, the internet, and AI mimic the one language, an unchecked hubris of the original Babel builders. The tower represents humanity's ultimate rebellion against divine authority, serving as a chilling blueprint to what many believers view as the modern-day desecration of Christian lore and biblical truth. So what do you believe? Do you believe in the Bible, or do you believe the evil cabal and the elites? The project showed human arrogance and a desire to make a name for themselves instead of obeying God's command to fill the earth. And that's what I have for you on the Tower of Babel.
Very interesting.
What do you think, Matt? Do you think it was a portal? A gateway?
I think it could be. I think it maybe not an actual portal to bring people in, but maybe a portal to bring information in and put information out. Maybe, you know, like the internet or like a walkie-talkie kind of deal.
I kind of feel like it was a real tower.
Okay. Yep.
I kind of feel like they were trying to open up the gates of heaven, and I kind of do believe what the Bible says is that God destroyed it.
Yeah.
If we are meant to see heaven, then He would have allowed that.
True. Yep. He would have, and if they're trying to build a stairway to heaven, He always smacks it down too. So,
yeah, we're not supposed to see that.
No.
We're not supposed to. All right, I'm going to play two more in a row. I'm going to get us set up for Matt's segment. And guys, we'll be right back. This is The Unsatisfied with Slugs, followed by You Don't Know Me. And we'll be right back.
Slugs.
Kids. Slugs, baby.
Outlaw, can't go in the city. Bloodshot eyes, he needs to be tranquilized. And on to the safe, you don't fucking know me. I want you to get away. Yeah, I'm so damn tired of your crap. I said if it comes back, I'll draw a map. Oh, real fear, I'm talking at your ear. Real sexy, I'll even whisper. I'm not safe, you don't fucking know. It's not okay when I blow. I'm not safe, you don't fucking know. Want you to fucking go. Yeah. I'm not safe, you don't fucking know. It's not okay when I blow. I'm not safe, you don't fucking know. Want you to fucking go. I said no. I said go, no. I said go.
All right, guys, that was the Unsatisfied. You don't fucking know me. Some of you do. All right. I hate when that happens. I get so carried away. All right, so the paranormal chef is cooking up a very special cold-blooded dish. We're talking about reptilian shapeshifters, or as the elite call them, the lizard people. Now, the recipe for this theory requires a few key ingredients. You take global leaders, sprinkle in some shape-shifting alien DNA, mix it thoroughly with secret plot for world domination. Some say they live deep underground. Others say they walk amongst us, hiding their scales behind human masks. Malfunctioning pupils on live television. Is it a bit half-baked? Absolutely. But if you turn the heat up just enough, it starts to taste like global conspiracy. So let's dive right in. Let's bring the one, the only, paranormal chef, Matt Gutka. The floor is yours.
Hey guys, we're talking shapeshifters and reptilians. There are many kinds of shapeshifters, but we're going to talk about one. There is werewolves, skinwalkers, wendigos, kinsoi, selkie, and reptilians. We're going to be talking about the reptilians. For lack of a better words, in conspiracy theories, there is one or two groups that shapeshifters are directly connected to. They're connected to. The two are reptilians and the Greys. They are connected also to the leaders of the world, politicians, royalty, corporate leaders, celebrities. They have the power to shift into their being also. So that's it. Many stories have gone around about the royals of not only Britain but others in Europe, countries, even Russia with their with the Romanovs and their religious leader Rasputin. They said he is a shapeshifter. We don't know if he's a reptilian or a gray, but he was malevolent as a shapeshifter. He might even be demonic shapeshifter. They also, the Chinese royal family and Japanese royal family are known to be shapeshifters. Also, some politicians around the world. They say the Russian, they say Putin is one. I wasn't going to go into them. They say Anna Merkel is one. They say not going to say any others because I might get banned from what's happening. Uh, there are supposedly uh, the Secret Service and the the Royal Guard that protects the Queen are infiltrated with shapeshifters. There is the Pentagon is supposedly infiltrated with shapeshifters. There are they don't even they're not only they have actual videos of certain guards in the palace guards that are not. Some people think they're zombie warriors or soldiers. Some think they're reptilian because every time you would shine a or take a picture of them with a thermal camera, they would not show up. Everybody else would show up except the guards. Same with Secret Service. They have a picture of a Secret Service guy guarding one of the president's shape-shifting. They have they also reports have been seen on camera glitching reporters and politicians and celebrities. The big thing is with their eyes, with the blinking and the sudden shift on the change of the eye pupil going from a blue eye or a brown eye to a green eye with a slit in it instead of a round pupil. You can look all these up on any platform in anything. You can look them up in YouTube. You can look them up in the internet, anywhere, these videos. They may even be part of the cabal or the cabal in a deep state. They're not only green, but some of them are gray or brown. They look when they shift back to the reptilians we know what the gray is, but when they shift back to the reptilians, the scales start at the bottom of their neck or the top of their neck and in the back of their head, and they also have a well-pronounced brow area right here in the front, and they have bumps starting at the top of their head all the way down their spine. Some of these do have tails, some of them don't. They say that they can shapeshift from a 9-foot reptilian to a 6-foot human. There are many things that they say. There's folklore about shapeshifters, like from Celtics, the seal changes into a shapeshifter. Norse gods, Loki changes into salmon or horse to trick people. Japanese have the kinsui, a fox spirit that turns into human, a man, not a woman. And depending on which side of the fence you're on, they're either evil or they're their protector. There are and reptilians themselves are in the modern theory they're all over the planet. There is also a theory that reptilians are not one species, but two or more. The one species is from what planet? Star system. They're from where is it? They're from the stars. They're aliens, and they came down here to infiltrate humans. The other one is they are a ancient species that live in the tunnels and caves and the hollow earth, and they're the ones with the tails. So that's the thing that there's a theory now that goes along with this aliens that they're not really truly reptiles, but they are their evolutionary skill and why they need this type of body from their planet. They are also part of not only with the Greys, but they're also, along with the insectoids, are part of the alien abduction theory too. I believe they are. I also believe that they are doing abductions with certain government entities for breeding purposes. So they can add their DNA to the human genome. So they basically are trying to make a species that they know they can kind of control.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Your media press badge behind you
Yeah.
keeps turning.
Yeah, I have a fan on.
Okay, I'm like, that's paranormal.
No, I have a fan on this time. No, I had something at the corner of my eye in my kitchen that was moving during Chuck's while Chuck was talking and while you were doing the bear attacks. So now it's gone. I was hoping it was a passerby.
Hey,
Sometimes I feel like Thomas. Sometimes when I see things at the corner of my eye.
I wanted to bring something up when you were talking about reptilians. I didn't want to wait to the end.
Okay, go ahead.
I had heard a story that when there's bases underground that the military has, and they work with reptilians side by side, I was told that you cannot wear crucifixes, you can't wear anything that praises God in any way, and you cannot use the name Jesus.
I haven't heard that, but I in my studies I haven't seen it, but I've heard it from other videos that I've seen and what I looked up. These might be the ancient. They might not be the aliens. They might be the ancient reptilians that have been here before man. Because I subscribe to a ancient race or the Earth being reborn every so often. And as I was looking this up, there are two stories: the reptilians from space and the reptilians of ancient times. So they might be that, because I know that they are very pro themselves, and they want to be the leaders of the world. And when you bring in somebody like Jesus, or they get cringy, kind of like a vampire.
I believe they're called draconian,
Draconians, yes.
the ancient ones.
Those are the ones that are the ancient ones, are the Draconians. Yeah, the reptoids and the reptilians, and what's the other one I saw that where they're from? Is their modern the aliens from space. Uh, Here they Alpha Dronus is Alpha Dorianus is the star system they're from, and reptoids, reptilians, Serenises, lizard people, and draconians. Draconians are the ones that are the ones from ancient times.
Yeah, I want to bring something else up. When you were talking about the royal bloodline and stuff like that, me and you both saw the video of when they were with the infrared, the night vision,
Yeah,
where they showed Buckingham Palace, and the guards that were outside with the heat signatures, you could tell were human, but
yeah,
the guards that were inside did not give off a heat signature. Only reptiles don't give off heat signatures.
right. That's what I think. I also understand that they are in with the Secret Service and other uh, entities like that throughout the world.
And that picture that you're talking about, the one that's guarding the president,
Yeah,
that dude looks like an alien.
yeah. The alien equivalent of a reptilian. So they're not pure. They're not reptilian like we think they are. They're uh, the like I said, the new theory is they're how they developed and evolved for the type of planet that they come from. So they're not. They might be reptilian, but they're not reptiles like we know them on Earth.
Yeah. Very cool. Super cool.
So yeah, there's a lot. Look on reptilians. There's different ways. They actually have a hierarchy. There are the royals, the warrior class, the working class, and the thinking class. And each one is they breed them like that. So if you're a warrior class one, you marry a warrior class, and they just or whatever they mate like that. So there's a class with that them the at least the draconians ones.
Hey, what are you thinking about doing next week?
I'm thinking maybe something maybe spiritual again, or maybe spirits, because a friend of mine just had her friend visit her through a cardinal. So I'm
Cool.
thinking about doing something like that. Like visitations from like I've been having visitations from my dad a lot lately. So I might be doing something like that.
Very cool. I'm going to be
Yeah.
talking about the Black Widow spider,
Very cool.
and I'm going to be talking about the Fringe TV show, because there's a lot of stuff in that Fringe TV show that we discuss on here.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched that show?
No, but I hear about it. I might have to look it up. What can you tell me the network on this thing?
I can't remember it. I'll have to look it up for you.
Okay, I'll look it up then.
All right. Matt, you have anything else for us?
That's it.
right.
Just I didn't know how long Chuck was going to go, so
Always goes a long time.
so I did a shortened version of what I wanted it to do. So
All right, very cool. All right, guys. Well, I have a disclaimer thing, I guess I want to tell you about. Excuse me. I had done an interview with Modern Christian today, and I wanted to share this with you because we talk about God a lot on the show, and I have some things I'd like to tell you about. So, and also when I read this to you, I'll be reading it as in the third person. I didn't feel like editing my name out a whole bunch of times, so if I refer to myself as Jeff James, it's not because I have an ego. It's just because that's how the article was written, and I don't feel like editing it. Okay. All right. So, Outlaw Radio Nation uses this platform to openly discuss our faith in God, personal redemption, and newly redefined spiritual paths. This is a few examples of an interview I did for Modern Christianity Today, so check this out. So, redemption over the past. Jeff James frequently shares that a sudden departure from his old life and career dynamics served as a necessary catalyst. He views this disruption not as a failure, but as divine intervention, allowing him to discover who he was truly meant to be. He describes his current chapter as leaving the old behind and diving headfirst into uncharted territory. This shift involves balancing his deep roots in the outlaw rock music community with an intentional, spiritually grounded mindset. For Jeff, his walk with God is defined by setting new goals, adopting clean perspectives, and showing his audience that it's never too late to let go of past mistakes to build a meaningful future. Rather than framing faith through strict traditional theological structures, he approaches spirituality through an independent, outlaw, cultural lens that merges raw human experience with supernatural events. Now, we welcome everything in the comments except for bullying, fighting, and evil. All are welcome to spread the word of God and share their faith as long as it does not infringe on others' beliefs. We're all in this world together, so let's be open-minded. Search for the truth between the lies that we have been told since our birth. Thursday Paranormal is a fringe show. You're right. We're here to unmask the truth, and it's up to you to find your truth. We're just opening up your eyes to what's out there. So let's be good to each other. Let go of the hate and just keep moving forward, and let's just try to walk with God a little bit. Okay? Cool. That's my disclaimer for you guys.
Very
all right.
cool.
Matt, thank you so much for sharing with Reptilians, being on the show today. As always, it was fantastic, a good time, and I can't wait to do it again next week.
For sure. Can't wait.
And
guys,
I want you to know that tomorrow we're doing a special presentation at 7:30. Rock and Robin will be in the studio with me. We'll be talking to 7 Days a Minute for an interview. We'll be playing all his music. We have a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to be a little bit different of an interview, so I hope you guys dig it. And then on Saturday night, you'll see me with Robin again for the Metal Revolution. We have 2 interviews that night. We have Chip from his Enough's Enough.
Awesome.
Craig Martini will be joining us. We're going to talk about horror metal. We're going to talk about the story of Faster Pussycat. We have Breaking Spines news, and we have a bunch of metal music. So we've been Thursday Paranormal. Matt, what do you want the audience to do for us tonight?
Like, subscribe, leave comments, play with the emojis, and have a good evening. And thank you all for joining us.
All right, excellent. This is The Rising Fall with Black Horse, followed by The Rising Fall again with Artificial Degeneration. We'll see you guys Friday for our special interview.
See you guys.
See you guys. You have a fantastic night, and God bless you all.
So
Everything was natural, everything made perfect sense. Strangest things are dangling in front of all of us. Alice ain't in Wonderland in this fucked up universe. Unicorns dancing wild in the streets of America. Fairy tales for no child, the demise of familiar. Everything the truth has become a reality. Diving deeper, deeper into insanity. They will play with the hearts and the minds of the true believers, making way for the dawn of the new digital deceivers. This is your wake-up call. How we knew that this day would come. Brace yourself for the fall. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Blow away the smoke and break the mirror. Run away the mask and it's all becoming clearer. They will play with the hearts and the minds of the true believers, making way for the dawn of the new digital deceivers. Come and see, come and see, come and see, it's a new sensation. Open wide for the next artificial generation. They will play with the hearts and the minds of the true believers, making way for the dawn of the new digital deceivers. Come and see, come and see, come and see, it's a new sensation. Open wide for the next artificial generation.
In a diary bound in human flesh, written in his own blood, he wrote, "Do not judge the wicked. Sinners kiss the righteous. The plague of your own mortality has been slowly aborted. Your hands have been cleansed of all impure thought. The precious heat that runs into that sadistic heart is winter. You have been forced to swallow razor blades of constructiveness, opinions of demons. We have been chosen to stand up, to survive the guillotine and chopping blocks of our demonic environment. Sin and salvation come inside."